Where'd you go to college?
I went to a junior college called Foothill College at first to get an AA. And the reason I did that is a friend of mine in high school goes, hey, do you know that if you don't take the SATs, you can just go to junior college for 2 years, then go to a 4-year? And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. I was like, I don't want to take the SAT, so I'm going to go to a junior college. I could have gone to a 4-year college right away. Yeah. I didn't because I was lazy. So I went to Foothill and then got that and then went and moved in. I met this girl, went and lived with her for 2 years and stopped going to school. Thought I wanted to do stand-up. That didn't work. Then I'm like, I want to write. Then a friend of mine showed me the Big Lebowski. And that's when everything switched
to directing.
To direct, where I was like, "What is this?" It was specifically the scene where John Turturro's bowling to the Gypsy Kings Hotel California.
Okay,
and it's like the Jesus and that whole thing. The 8-year-old's pederast. That whole thing.
Yeah.
I had, I knew
films like right over there. By the way.
Really? Was it near here?
Yeah, the bowling alley it's not there anymore, but it was right on Santa Monica.
Oh, right.
In East Hollywood. It was like really close.
I didn't realize. I knew that they took
now.
it down like recently.
Yeah.
But I remember, I was used to Sandler stuff and like that kind, just like comedy. So I was like, or whatever. How is this like cool and fun? I was like thrown off. And my buddy's like, oh, these are the Coen brothers. Like they made Fargo. It's like, oh, I heard of that movie. That movie's funny.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't watch it. And then I go, rewind it. I want to watch this movie from the beginning. Because I just walked in as he was watching that scene.
Right.
And I was like, you can do this? Like, you can make this movie? This is such a weird movie. I just had never seen anything like it. So he's like, yeah, there's the Coen brothers. This is the kind of stuff they do. And I was like, what do they do? He's like, they write and direct. I was like, well, then that's what I'm going to do. And then immediately looked into colleges and was like, okay, I could go to Academy of Arts, but then I'll be around a bunch of...
Looked into colleges for directing?
For directing.
Oh.
And I was like, because I didn't know enough. I'm like, I just need to go somewhere that has cameras and I can just teach myself how to do it.
Right.
Because I already knew what it was going to be. I was going to go somewhere and, the truth of the matter, there's a lot of these outside of LA, I mean, even inside, a lot of these film professors attempted a career. It didn't work out, and now they're bitter, and you're kind of free. And you're free labor for their productions.
Right.
So... I was like, Academy of Arts, everyone's going to be so pretentious. I don't want to be around. I just want to make comedy.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, wait, San Jose State is a 10-minute drive from, my parents' house.
Did you still live at home during all this? No, you moved in with a girlfriend.
I moved in with a girl, but then when I decided to go back to school, the first semester I lived with my parents until I found an apartment.
Nice.
I was like, let me just get going here. And then, which it was a culture shock to go back in that house. And I was like, oh, I'll just go there, and then ended up getting an apartment. But I was like, I called, and I was like, do you guys have cameras that the students could check out? They said, yeah, and that's all I needed to know.
That's great.
And then...
you got in right away, no problem?
Yeah. It was,
even though you had...
Well, I mean, I had my AA, my
Oh, I guess you did get that.
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
and it was like San Jose State. Like, literally anyone, like a squirrel could go there if they wanted. I'm sure it's a good school. I don't know. But I went right away, and I would rent any DVD that had a director commentary and just feed off of that. It was great because you just learn all these little things. Remember, Sam Mendes had some really cool stuff to say about just visual symbolism in American Beauty. It was one of the first DVDs I bought.
Sure.
And I remember that just opened my mind up, and I was like, oh, there's a whole other level of funny. You could shoot funny.
Right.
It's not just showing it. Because I realized at that point everything I had ever written, whether it was stand up or if it was anything, everything was very visual. I was telling stories. I wasn't doing bits. I didn't have one-liners. Everything was this big long story. So it all made sense when I was like, oh, directing is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.